Hey everybody, I'm done. So, Adobe Rush. Oh, how ye have failed me again. I've been trying to export this video for a very long time. Not this video, not this one that I edited for hours and hours. I did 2 of them, actually, and neither of them would export. And I feel like maybe this movie's cursed or something, and that I'm not supposed to review it. But I'm determined for my audience. That's you guys. That's you. And I decided, you know what? Curse, you're not gonna get the best of me. I'm gonna do one on the phone and just straight from the phone, farm to table, up to YouTube. I'm not gonna edit it. I'm not gonna do anything because I can't. I don't have time. And Wednesday is the day for the videos. And I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. It's happening and we're just doing this. But look at everything. I got a headband on. Posters are falling off my wall. I got pillowcases without pillows in them. And this is pure unadulterated Baileys. Because I'm gonna give you a pure unadulterated just recap of this insane movie. Not even exactly a review, but just a recap. I just need people to know about it because it's not really streaming anywhere and it's like banned everywhere. And I need you to know about it. I need you to know about it. And so we're still gonna have background music like we regularly do. I got Spotify here on my pad, and we're just gonna yeah, that's nice. That's calming. That's calming. I'm into it. Today, we're going to be talking about Imprint by Takashi Miike. This guy. I'm prepared. Curse. I got pictures. There's nothing you can do to stop me. Now, I also will say, also, spoilers! It's gonna be the whole movie. I'm gonna just talk about it and try and keep it under 10 because fuck it. So, spoilers. You can't really get it anywhere anyway, except like YouTube, so whatever, right? Okay, alright. So, this movie is called Imprint. I showed you the slide, and it's a Japanese horror movie made by that fancy boy, Takashi Miike, based off a short story for a show called Masters of Horror. Now, for those of you that don't know what Masters of Horror is, it used to be a show where they would bring in horror writers, horror directors to make short movies for this episodic thing. And they ran about like an hour, something like that, maybe a little under, maybe a little over. And they brought in Takashi Miike to do one because he's a renowned Japanese horror filmmaker. And he made the movie, and they were like, no, pull the reins, buddy. Pull the reins on the disgusting stuff and bring it back. And he's like, okay, cool, I'll pull the reins. And he did, and he brought it back, and they were like, too much, still too much. We're just gonna ban it. We're gonna ban it, we're never gonna air it, and you couldn't find it anywhere for the longest time. And then it was on Amazon, and now it's not anymore, and I've watched this movie 3 times trying to prepare this video, and this is where we are. This is where we are. I mean, here is the movie. It's insane. Right off the bat, subscribe, like, hit the notification bell so you know exactly when I make these videos. Thank you. Right off the bat, this movie's insane. I suggest you watch it before they ban it on YouTube as well. It's absolutely insane. Now, if that means sex. Did you get that? Sex. If and dead babies and gore and torture isn't your thing, then maybe don't watch this. It's not the whole movie. It's a huge part of the movie. Ooh, some guitar. I like it. But see it either way. I don't care what you're into. Just see the movie, because look what I'm going through for you. See the movie. All right, here we go. Remember the spoiler picture? Still keep that in mind, okay? So it's about this guy from America. Woo! And his name is Christopher, and this is set back in like the 1800s, right? So he was in Japan a while ago, and he met this woman called Komomo. And then he was like, hey, Komomo, you're awesome. I'm gonna go back to America, get all my shit straightened out, and then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna save you with my American money. Oh, what money? Anyway, that's what he said he was gonna do. Komomo believed him, and he has spent so long looking for her and can't find her. And so he goes to this place called Whore Island, and it's just an island of pimps and prostitutes, right? And he's going to the island. This is a boat. They take a boat to the island, and he asks about Komomo to this little chicken man. They run in to this adorable little chicken man. Where are you, chicken man? Chicken man. When I said adorable, I didn't mean adorable. He's not adorable. He's disgusting. He's missing a nose because of syphilis, like Al Capone. And so he's like, hey, Christopher, you want to stick around? And Christopher's like, not if you can't tell me where Komomo is. And he's like, well, you can't go out tonight because there's robbers and stuff out there and you don't want to die. And he's like, no, I don't want that. And he's like, so pick a prostitute. And he's like, all right, twist my arm. And he picks one in the back. She's all silhouetted. You can't see who she is. And it's mysterious. And then they go into the room, and he's like, do you know Komomo? And she's like, yeah. And he's like, whoa. And she's like, she hung herself. And he's like, oh no. And then she's like, hey, you want some of this? And he's like, you just told me that the love of my life killed herself. No, I don't want some of that. She's like, I get it. But he's like, I want a bedtime story. And she's like, the fuck? And he's like, yeah, just tell me about your life. And she's like, okay, bro. And so she starts telling him about how she came from a family that loved her and everything, but they were poor. Oh, sad. So they had to sell her to Whore Island. And so that's how she ended up here. And she has this weird, like, fishhook scar on her face. And it's not really explained, but she calls herself a freak, and she doesn't get all the guys at the prostitute island, and you know, she's not very well liked. But she's telling him all this, and he's like, well, that's sad, and that you got sold to Whore Island. And then she's like, yeah, but then I met Komomo, and she was really nice to me, even though the other prostitutes weren't. And he's like, well, that's cool. And she's like, yeah, and they hated me, and they hated Komomo too, because she was the prettiest. And he's like, I know. And she brought in all the guys, and so they framed her for stealing the madam's, like, jade ring. And then the madam was like, where's my jade ring? And Komomo was like, I didn't take it, but they torture her anyway. And then this lady comes up, and she's actually the writer of the story. Look at her. She's awful. She's the torturer, and kind of looks like one of my ex-girlfriends. And so she shoves these needles under her nails and shoves needles into her gums. And then they hang her upside down, and she makes pee-pee on herself. And Christopher, we go back, and he's like, why would you tell me this? That's fucked up. And then he's like, why did she hang herself? And little Fishhook is like, because she couldn't wait anymore for the man she loved. Oh! Shade much? And so he freaks out, and he's like, no! If you know who Billy Drago is, who plays Christopher, that was spot on acting of him. So he's like, no! And she's like, yeah. And he's like, I don't believe you. Tell me the truth. And so she's like, all right, I'll tell you the truth. So, like, that's not how it happened. Here's the second bedtime story that is equally fucked up. And then he's like, you're not telling me something. And then she goes into a third story, and she's like, all right, I'm gonna start from the very beginning and tell you everything from the start of my childhood. So my parents, they were poor. That part was true. They went to a poor village, and Dad wasn't sickly like she had said in the first story. He was a drunk and abusive, and Mom portrayed in the first story was a midwife. Turns out she was an abortionist, and she had like a bucket that she put babies in, and she just dumps in the river, and they show it, and it's like little baby Voldemort's just being dropped out of a bucket, and it's disgusting. And then, because married people, they had a baby. They had fishhook face, and Mom was like, nah, can't afford this. And so they dump her in the river, the baby bucket river, and they're like, well, c'est la vie. And then 2 days later, little fishhook comes back around and is still alive. And then Mom's like, I guess I'll raise you. So she does. And then there's, oh my God, fishhook gets, she gets R-worded by a priest, and then she gets R-worded by her dad, and then she kills her dad, and then we find out that Mom and Dad were brother and sister, so that's why she's a little deformed. And then we find out that she has a fucking, I don't know why that's in there. I don't know why that's in there, but that's Pepe. He's become my favorite Muppet. I like him so much, I guess I had to screenshot him. I don't know. Anyway, we find out that she has a fucking hand in her head right here, and henceforth she will be called Handhead. That is the hand, and ironically enough, it looks like a Muppet. It does. And it has teeth and a tongue, and it has eyes, and it talks in a weird voice, and Christopher's freaking out. He's like, this is disgusting. What the fuck is going on? And then the hand starts talking like Komomo, and it's like, oh, Christopher, why didn't you come back for me? I waited for you. And Christopher's like, oh my God. And then the hand is like, I know what you did. You can't hide anywhere from it. And then a little girl's voice comes out of it that's like, oh, Christopher, why did you do this to me? I did what you said. Ah, you're hurting me. He killed his sister, y'all. We find out at the end. He killed his sister, and Handhead knows. And then Christopher pulls out a gun and shoots her in the chest. And she's like, nope, can't kill me. And then he's like, ah. And then he shoots her in the head, right? And she goes, bleh. And she comes back up. And it's Komomo. It's Komomo. And Komomo reaches in the back of her head, pulls out her brains, and holds them out to Christopher and goes, why? And then dies. And then, at the end of the movie, we cut to Christopher in a Japanese jail cell, right? And these two guards bring him food. They bring him a little bowl of rice and vegetables and a bucket of water, right? They set it down in front of him, and you look at the bucket, and you're like, oh my God, that looks a lot like the baby bucket. It is! And he looks in it, and there's a little baby Voldemort in the bucket. And I would freak out. I would freak out. Isn't it obvious? I would freak out. But he doesn't freak out. He takes the bucket, and he starts rocking it back and forth and singing a lullaby to it. And then we pull out, and we see Komomo and his dead sister standing next to him. Movie ends. That's it. That's it. The movie ends. This is the movie. This is all I really wanted to get out. So, you know, see it. It's fucked up. See it. Oh my God.